It was my first time cleaning the sect's largest scripture library, but there wasn't a single cultivation manual inside. Strangely, there were books. Tong Jing guarded here for a full 60 years, so I couldn't help but step forward and ask, Lord Qingfeng, why isn't there a single book here? Who told you there must be books in the Sutra Library? This Sutra Pavilion is a magical treasure personally forged by the Feng Master. Sect members come to retrieve books, all depending on luck, dropping them randomly. Hearing this, my heart instantly sank to the bottom of the valley. It's over. Inside, nothing is lost. How could I sneak a sacrifice with the Demon King? It turned out that yesterday I had accidentally found a black box in the back mountain. I thought it was a chance bestowed upon me by heaven, but when opened, there was a strange altar. In the center sat a black-faced demon god. Just as I was at a loss, the black-faced demon god suddenly spoke. The sacrifice has begun. Please offer a tool as a sacrifice. Curious, I threw in a broken talisman. The next second, a cold, radiant magic talisman appeared out of thin air. Is this what sacrifice is? They are all really beautiful. I excitedly picked up the axe. The information drilled straight into his mind. A blade that cuts through everything. A powerful demonic artifact capable of breaking through the foundation of immortals. The Demon King is way too generous. He had only sacrificed a broken axe. Just give me this kind of pride. Simply more than those so-called righteous immortals, generous 10,000 times the time. Just as I was overjoyed, the Demon King spoke again. Please offer any one of the cultivation techniques. Cultivation method. I'm just a low-level menial worker, 10 cents a month. Even the cheapest techniques require saving for a full 10 months. Where am I supposed to get this technique? That's when I thought of becoming a menial apprentice to the scripture brother. Stealing a cultivation manual and sacrificing it takes off instantly. But I never expected this. There isn't even half a book here. I'm completely out of it. But before I could recover, what the page boy said next, it scared me so much that cold sweat broke out. Don't say I didn't warn you. Immortals and fairy maidens who come here to draw cultivation techniques. Everyone's temper flared up like a firecracker. The day before yesterday, there was an outer disciple. Every year, they come here to obtain cultivation manuals. But decades have passed. He still couldn't get what he wanted. Your poor former colleague. At that time, they were watering in the yard. He was cut in half on the spot. It's tough. Cold sweat broke out on my back instantly. That immortal master. Why not give them the cultivation techniques they want? Are you an idiot? And he even gave his cultivation technique a click for free. If everyone could get it. Immortal art suitable for one's own cultivation. How could the great immortal master make any money? I immediately understood. To put it plainly, if the immortal master gave them all the desired techniques, who would still spend a fortune to buy from an immortal master? These immortal masters. Really cunning. Alright. Today, you need to clean both inside and out. Tomorrow, Senior Elder Xian Yi will come to draw the cultivation method. Could it be that I'm about to die as soon as I arrived? Look how scared you are. Senior Elder Xian Yi is the most temperamental immortal master on Yuzhu Peak. He won't make things difficult for us. Maybe he drew a technique he didn't need. They even casually toss it to you. Upon hearing the cultivation method, my eyes lit up instantly. Isn't this exactly what I wanted? Thank goodness, not bad. Heaven is exhausted by me. Early the next morning, Qingfeng led me to kneel at the door to welcome Shabua. And so, he knelt from dawn until afternoon. She held her urine and didn't even dare to go to the hostess. Just as I was about to give out, Suspense Taoist finally meets Fairlie. Everyone, get up. Suspense lifted his leg and walked inside. A gentle breeze followed closely behind. I also carefully followed behind. A gentle breeze. I remember when you walked in. And still a little kid with a runny nose. In the blink of an eye, 60 years have passed. Do you think Senior Uncle can get a useful cultivation manual this time? Master Bo is blessed with great fortune reaching the heavens. He wanted a useful cultivation method. That's not very casual. You can come to this outer sect Sutra Pavilion in person. That was to save face for the Sutra Pavilion. Would he dare refuse to give him a top-tier cultivation manual? You're getting smoother and smoother with your tongue, kid. This Sutra Pavilion is a magical treasure personally forged by the Feng Master. How could I not know the tricks inside? Just getting a truly useful cultivation technique was already impressive. Top-tier techniques. Wait for the sun to rise in the west. Give it a try. Senior uncle will definitely get a useful cultivation manual. You're getting better and better at talking. As he spoke, his gaze swept over me, but I didn't see me go along with Qingfeng's eloquence. This caught the attention of the suspenseful senior uncle, who was used to social etiquette. He actually inexplicably developed a fondness for talent, miscellaneous meaning, but one has a spiritual root. The disciple has an ethereal spiritual root. It was actually an ethereal root. What a pity. What a pity. Qingfeng also sighed along. He knew I had clearly encountered a fortunate opportunity, but unexpectedly. But I have an ethereal route, one step away from reaching the sky, just a hair's breadth away. But I wasn't the least bit discouraged. Right now, all I can think about is suspense Taoist drawing a trash technique. Just toss it to me casually. A technique given by the Demon King. It must be 100 times more powerful than the immortal sex techniques. What helped me cultivate was no small matter. 5 minutes later, the suspenseful Taoist walked out expressionlessly, holding a book in his hand. Qingfeng could tell from that expression that it must be a trash technique, so he hurriedly took a wine gourd and went over. Master Bo, this is your favorite monkey wine. So, how is it? Can this technique still be used? Suspense took the gourd, drank it all in one gulp, and sighed. Another piece of junk. What kind of tree prevention secret? I'm an old man, what's the use of that? Qingfeng was so embarrassed he didn't know what to say. I was shouting wildly in my heart. Don't scan the ointment, hurry up and throw it to me. The title is so impressive. Maybe the Demon King will be very pleased. But unexpectedly, Xian Yi felt humiliated. In a fit of anger, the technique in his hand was instantly burned to ashes. Gone. You're driving me crazy. My cultivation technique is already one step short. An old man. Fly my cultivation technique. Don't cry. Soon, another senior sister will come to fetch the cultivation method. Sure enough, heaven has seen me. This senior sister had an even more irritable temper. Don't even mention fools. He couldn't draw the technique he wanted. All living things inside the round stone must die. Not to mention, he didn't know. Where did he get another spot again? If you haven't gotten it yet, the cultivation method he wanted. Just think, tremble, meow. Can you not say half of what you mean? Lord Qingfeng, we won't get beaten to death, right? After all, I have a proper official position. I probably won't. But you? Hard to say. As they spoke, a woman in purple walked over. Qingfeng saw this and dashed over. Not daring to hesitate for a moment, she pressed her body, not daring to lift her head, even more humble than welcoming a Xian Yi Master PhD, a gentle breeze. You say, can I get the cultivation method I want today? Actually, my demands aren't high. Any immortal sword technique that any woman can use will do. Behind senior sister Yuji feud, he was sure to acquire the sword technique he desired. So many years of top-tier swordsmanship and cultivation techniques, the kid hasn't even seen it yet. Just waiting for senior sister Yuji to broaden her horizons. Keep going. Yuji wasn't stupid. Naturally, he could tell there was more to his words, but she was in a good mood today. I just got a spot from Master. He couldn't be bothered to argue with the servants, but she still couldn't help but speak up. If I still can't get a good cultivation method this time, it must be that you two are just too skilled. As soon as these words were spoken, my neck felt cold. When Yuji entered the Sutra Pavilion, I immediately moved closer to Qingfeng. He said quietly, Lord Qingfeng, I'll go trim the bamboo outside the yard. You wait here. Actually, I was thinking about it in my mind. Go dig a hole in the bamboo forest yourself. Duo. It should be much safer. Kid. Don't think I don't know what you're up to. Senior sister Yuji's swordsmanship was Tongquan. You're just an ordinary servant with no cultivation at all, with a single sword strike. Even if you hide in the latrine, likewise, they die without a grave. My face instantly turned deathly pale, and just then, suddenly, the scripture shelves began to tremble. Clearly, Yuji was furious inside. Even Qingfeng's expression became extremely panicked. He suddenly pulled out a small cloth pouch from his pocket. He handed it to me. That one piece. Suddenly, I remembered something. I promised Uncle Suspense to give him something. Go help me deliver it to him. However, Where is the suspenseful master? How did I find him? Along the road, stepped outside, walk all the way to the left side of the Juxiantai plaque. You just wait for him there. He will come and take it himself. I remember. Didn't see Uncle Master. No return. Seeing Qingfeng urging urgently, I was completely confused. I just feel something is off, but he still obeyed the order. I grabbed my cloth bag and ran to the foot of Juxian Terrace 10 li away, but left and right, no one even saw a trace of the suspense master's neck. I was wondering if he had forgotten about it. Suddenly, a loud explosion came from the Sutra Pavilion, and saw light soaring to the sky, illuminating the horizon. Such a terrifying killing intent. I looked up. He saw Yu-Ji furious. The jade sword flew away from above his head. My heart trembled, and I suddenly understood. I ignored Qingfeng's warning. He dashed back to the Sutra Pavilion, pushed open the main gate. Everything before him was a mess, just like bandits burned it. If he had truly buried himself in the ground back then, he probably died long ago. This sword energy is terrifying. I hurried to the entrance of the hidden gold pavilion. Qingfeng lay on the ground, bloodthirsty all over. I was almost in tears. Lord Qingfeng. You deliberately tried to get rid of me, didn't you? The chosen master didn't even let him deliver anything. I just feel like there are already enough people dying here. Anyway, I've already leveled 3 layers. He still can't kill me. Besides, I'm just one official post. He didn't dare either. But if it were you, it's hard to say. Seeing the clear wind like this, my heart was tight. He and I are neither pure nor old. It was purely a hidden heart that saved me. Lord Qingfeng. Can your degree still be restored? Just restore this damn little rascal. There was not a trace of humanity. He has some skills and background of his own. It's simply lawless. I was so angry, I was so mad I could batter. A bastard will have children without an anus. Qingfeng cursed impatiently, but the more I listened, the heavier my heart felt. A person's path of cultivation is cut off. This is no different from killing him. Lord Qingfeng. Is there really no other way? I'll help you fight for it. Unless he went to the Taishu cave and obtained the Jade Marrow Knight. He wanted to create the effects of Bai Mai again. And it only works on the cultivation of the Qi refiner. He could not be interested in that thing. If I take it, I can restore my cultivation. Can I go get it for you? However, I knew it wasn't that simple. Lord Qingfeng, I beg you, can we explain this together next time? All right. It was her jade-like mouth that was incredibly solid. Unless our Wind Lord personally intervenes, let's offer our jade to the wind. No one else has had this ability, but this time, I feel like I really can do it. After all, I have one in my hand, the indestructible demon axe. Maybe she really could break open her jade mouth. At night, I took advantage of the breeze to sleep quietly. Alone, he secretly arrived at Taishu Cave, but I didn't dare to go in rashly. Instead, he lay at the cave entrance listening for a while. Make sure no one is inside. Only then did I walk in with the demon axe. What if there is an immortal inside? Saw me holding a massager. Wouldn't that be dead and upright? But I walked in for 5 minutes. All the chalcedony had already been broken. It was obvious that the chalcedony branches and leaves inside were gone. Could it be that everything got stepped on? Until they reached the deepest part of the cave. Only then did he see an incredibly thick chalcedony. No one had collected this jade bead. It really is a bargain with Qingfeng. I took out the demon crack. One swing of the axe was like cutting tofu. It split open easily. At this point, I still didn't know I was cutting a chalcedony net. I quickly took out a small medicine bottle I had prepared in advance to receive the chalcedony leaves. There are far more chalcedony leaves than I imagined. The small bottle filled up instantly. I looked at the branches and leaves about to leave on the ground. Before I could think further, I quickly caught it with my mouth. The crystal clear branches and leaves filled my stomach to the brim. Jimboree must never be wasted. I only felt a bit scared after finishing the chalcedony branches and leaves. Is it really okay to drink this much? Whatever, I've already finished it anyway. And it didn't seem to be abnormal. I don't dare stay here for long. Before dawn arrived, I quickly ran back. I don't dare hide the heavenly demon mansion inside my own room anymore. If other immortals see the marks of decay. Found my magic weapon. I'm finished. I ran to the backyard and dug a deep pit with the heavenly demon mansion. He dug up more than a dozen sheets but still felt unsafe. Until they dug up to the rock layer. Only then did he finally feel at ease burying the heavenly demon mansion inside. The next day, Qingfeng saw the chalcedony I had given him the night. He was instantly startled. "You didn't steal it, kid." "I wouldn't dare eat it." Luckily, I had prepared my explanation in advance. "Just eat with peace of mind. How could I possibly harm you? To be honest with you, yesterday I went to Taishu Cave. Just in time, someone went to collect the chalcedony on night. There are many nights of chalcedony. That person didn't go clean either. I picked up the leftovers. That's why it's just this little." Qingfeng stared at me for quite a while. He looked at me with clear eyes. "It doesn't sound like I'm lying." Then he tilted his head back and drank it clean. After drinking it, not only did he recover his breath, but he also recovered instantly, even stronger than before. But he quickly sensed something was wrong. "How do I feel?" "The meaning of chalcedony you told me. It's not quite what the book describes." "How does this sound like the legendary king of chalcedony?" However, but Yu Sui Wang was extremely strong. Even if a top expert at Golden Core Stage 7, without divine weapons, it can't be easily broken open. Could it be that he really struck with an axe? So he beheaded Prince Yusui. I didn't dare reply, fearing that too many words will surely lead to mistakes. Fortunately, senior brother Qingfeng thought it over carefully. "That's true. Who would leave the jade behind the king without taking it all? So you can find it." Only then did I breathe a sigh of relief. Little did they know the kindness behind my adventure this time. He had easily obtained a great opportunity. The next day, Qingfeng called me over. "I see how determined you are to cultivate the Tao. Here is a simple qi refining method. It was a wood-type technique. Go take a look. Maybe you, with your ethereal root." He really could cultivate a spiritual root. Facing his words, but I showed no expression at all. Sure enough, the next second, Qingfeng spoke again. "And don't get your hopes up too high. After all, this continent has an ethereal root. There is no record of successful cultivation yet. I knew they'd delete me first, but it doesn't really matter. I believe the Demon King won't disappoint me. I didn't expect to hold the cultivation method." Just as he was about to leave, "He will delete me second-hand. By the way, don't say I didn't warn you. This is a secret manual I came up with by chance. There may inevitably be some errors inside. I have practiced this for decades." He had only reached the 3rd level of practice. Several times he nearly lost control. "You decide for yourself. Don't push yourself too hard during cultivation." I was speechless. "Anything else to say?" Aren't you afraid of dying?" "No worries." "All right. I'm not afraid of anything. Jing should offer sacrifices at me." Back at the residence, I locked the door behind my back. Quickly escaped the Demon King's altar beneath the bed. He put the book on the table. Unexpectedly, the Demon King's sarcastic voice came through. "I'll go upstairs." "What trash. This is also a cultivation method. A total of 70,000 techniques. There are 48,000 errors. This can also be practiced." Of course, it's a cultivation method. Some people follow this book. He had already cultivated to the 3rd level of qi refining. Hearing this, the Demon King was left speechless. Able to follow this worthless cultivation manual. Cultivated to the 3rd level of qi refining. That's genius. The next moment, the altar flashed. That broken cultivation method. He switched to a manual on lightning entwining, and the altar has once again become a black box. This is a cultivation technique manual. How is it still charged? It won't kill me, will it? I looked at the lightning flickering secret manual on the ground, feeling a wave of bitterness in my heart. The Demon King is definitely a show-off fanatic. All the treasures she gave to her were so dazzling. They just don't know how to keep a low profile. Treasure sweep. Afraid of being discovered by others, huh? And this electricity, it's really fine. I carefully reached out my hand. He gently touched the secret manual. Lightning was like a mischievous elf, gently jumping on my hand, and I felt nothing. I breathed a sigh of relief. He began to study the cultivation manual carefully. On the cover of the book, a few ancient characters were written vertically. Introduction to 5 Elements Divine Thunder Qi Refining. Turn to the first page. There was no content on the bandit page. There is only one name, the Great Black Heaven. Unexpectedly, the Demon King is actually a narcissist. Opening the second page reveals the hidden air-blocking film. Before I knew it, I was completely absorbed. The human body is informed, or pure. Some ashes Hong. The number of discarded items is the same. and work together with Yuko, promote it to the status of a circulator, and thus achieve elevation and refinement. I fell into deep thought. How is this different from the understanding of the ethereal root I read in books before? Official books introduce the ethereal root. The 5 stars completely counter each other. For example, 5 types of plants compete for nutrients from the same plot of land. No one can grow up. In the end, when the energy is depleted, everything withers. It became a wasteland. And the confirmation energy mentioned in this book will not disappear. That gold-carved wood, but Mu was nowhere to be seen. Where did the energy of wood go? The hole turned into heat. Yes, it must be like this. He rubbed the wood with a hairpin. The wood disappeared, but the energy did not disappear. Instead, it turned into flames. This is the transformation of energy. Water extinguishes the fire, although the fire is gone, but the water temperature also rises. The energy is simply transferred, moving from fire to water. The energy itself does not disappear. Therefore, the 5 elements counteract each other. It simply won't annihilate energy out of thin air. It is biochemistry. Born from Gutonggong. All things flow and transform by the power of life, and with the strength of conquest, they generate transformation. In life, one can become the supreme ruler of heaven and earth. The 2 principles Dharma Gate. In an instant, my eyes filled with tears. Earlier, he was worried about his ethereal roots. The anxiety and unease of being unable to cultivate. It vanished in an instant. Divine thunder of the 5 elements. Isn't this custom made just for me? The Demon King really doesn't cheat anyone, but the reasoning was understood, but you still have to experience it firsthand. The movement of the 5 elemental chi is the proper order. Wait and wait. Maintain tranquility and measure. All things are as they are, each returning to its root. Before I knew it, I had reached dawn. His whole body was about to fall apart, but he had no choice but to get up. There was no way around it. And there were still many cleaning tasks left undone. But just as I opened the door and left, but it ran straight into the breeze. Qing Feng glanced at me. You already dare to go? It must be obtained. You've got talent, kid. This first stage is crucial. Coincidentally, no one has come to the Sutra Pavilion recently to get cultivation techniques. You don't have to work anymore. Right now, it's just a bit of cleaning work. I'll help you first. Go back and focus on practicing the hidden energy first. Only those who can conceal their energy can be considered the entry point of cultivation. In the end, he was so kind. There must be a problem. In that moment of shock, Qing Feng was already cleaning. Could it be that the sun has risen from the west? All right, since Lord Qing Feng has come to this, why should I be so polite? So I focused on practicing for 2 days, but on the 3rd day of cultivation, there is a cluster of energy in my chi si, is gradually growing larger. It's over. This is the effect of the jade shattered night. He thought that Qing Feng had healed all his shattered meridians and chi si with just a small bottle, but I drank dozens of times more than Lord Qing Feng. I argued, I haven't even inhaled my breath yet. Then he wouldn't be dying, right? It was about to be filled with a sea of paint. Suddenly, a flash of inspiration struck me. Yeah. Isn't this supposed to repair the meridians and the Chihai Si? Then I just need to try to channel these energies. Moderately, he damaged his meridians inch by inch, then use that energy to start repairing. Just release it slowly and continuously. And so, my meridian Chihai was blown apart 999 times, repaired 999 times again. Finally, on the 7th day, it was completely exhausted. I collapsed on the ground, gasping for breath. From now on, I won't eat anything randomly again. It hurt so much. However, after several days of continuous restoration and reconstruction, my meridians and chi si, resilience beyond imagination, the capacity has also become extraordinary. I felt the flow of spiritual energy in the air. Within this spiritual energy, the 5-star elements were constantly colliding with each other, and then it continues to rise and fall. According to the book's introduction, I have successfully concealed my energy. I was overwhelmed with excitement. He rushed out straight to find Qing Feng, but ended up in Qing Feng's room. But not even a person was there. Where is he? I was about to leave. Suddenly, he saw a cloth bag. He placed it on the tea table. Isn't this Qing Feng's treasure? How could I stay here? Just then, suddenly, The morning sun shone in. It shone right on the table. There was a streak of water on the table. Hurry up and go. My heart suddenly clenched, and suddenly sensed something was wrong. Something happened. Just then, suddenly, footsteps sounded outside the door. I quickly hid the cloth bag in my chest. Pick up a rag. He quietly wiped himself off the table. Then he bent down to wipe the chair again. Pretend to clean up yourself. As the footsteps drew closer, an extremely burly robe thief immortal appeared before me. You're the servant who helps Qingfeng with the work. Immortal Master. It's me. I had to kneel down according to the rules. No need to thank me. I, Xiantian, was about to ask you a few questions. Patriarch Xiantian, isn't this the master with the tone of a violent maniac? Qingfeng said he drank the juice of the Jade King. Only then did he heal all the wounds on his body. He said the juice of that Chalcedony king. You gave it to him. For a moment, I felt like my heart was about to stop. It's over. It was exposed. Could it be that the breeze has betrayed me? No. Qingfeng and I only knew that thing was called Yusui Jie, not some Jade Sui King's knight. So, this old guy is blowing himself up. Wouldn't that breeze be lost to them? But in the end, it was me who ruined Qingfeng. I forced myself to suppress the pain. He couldn't help but show a puzzled expression on his face. The first teacher. What are you talking about? What is the Jade Shatter King? Hear my answer. Seeing my expression again, it didn't look like it was an act. A bit disappointed all day. Just then, a girl's coquettish laughter suddenly came from behind. Master. I told you. She was just a lowly laborer. How could it be related to artifacts? That's true. I actually didn't suspect her. Just give it a try. Kid. You should leave quickly. Qingfeng will not return, from now on. I've taken over this place. I pretended to be confused, like a complete fool who couldn't understand at all. Then I'll leave right away. He walked out while walking. He kept nodding and saluting Xiantian and Yu Ji. Hurry up and get lost. Don't get in the way. I didn't dare look her in the eyes, afraid she'd see the murderous intent in my eyes. He walked out of the courtyard. I saw many light-robed Taoists enter the courtyard. He was rummaging through everywhere for something. My heart was restless. This was a search for his own heavenly demon mansion. I have to leave quickly. Brilliant. In the future, I will definitely seek revenge on you. A sweating beast dashed wildly to the giant immortal platform. The path down the mountain was right in front of us. Suddenly, a loud explosion came from behind. Stop. Where are you going? I was so scared I felt like my soul was about to fly out, until he turned around and saw it was the suspense Taoist priest. Only then did he breathe a sigh of relief. He directly threw a token over. The main street is approaching. These practitioners have gone mad. You're just a teenager. Yuzhu Peak is not for you. Go down the mountain to play rocks. If you get the chance, visit other peaks. Is this old man trying to scare me? His way of speaking is so strange. Forget it. Run first. Then talk about it. But I had just reached the foot of the mountain. He was stopped by several guards at the 4th level of artifact refinement. Stop. Master Xiantian spoke. Recently, no one is allowed to go down the mountain. That old gangster definitely couldn't find the heavenly demon mansion. Fortunately, I hid it a little deeper back then. And what about the Immortal's token? Are you going to stop me too? Brother, please understand. Just routine. You can go down the mountain now. After coming down the mountain, I didn't dare to linger, until they ran to Dayao town. Only then did I breathe a sigh of relief. After all, this place is managed by the sect master of the true martial sword sect. The power of Xiantian Yuji and others from Yuzhu Peak could not extend beyond this. Now I finally have free time. Take a look at the cloth bag Qingfeng left for herself. He flipped through it. The bag was only a little over 1,000 cents. A book on the essential herbal essentials of wood alchemy. And there's a strange key. There was also a metal tag tied to the key. The sign reads Dayao Town, 115 Shuiyun Street. Could this be the key to Dayao's house? I was puzzled and put it away for now. Then he entered the main hall at the entrance, because for whatever reason, when you arrive at Dayao, you have to register in the main hall first. Only by obtaining the identity token, only then can they freely move around Dayao town. Go to the registration window. The female cultivator on duty quickly completed the paperwork for me. Good luck. Thank you. By the way, can you help me see where this place is? I pointed to the address on the keychain metal tag. Certificate of production. You still have property in Dayao. Young man, you really are rich. The houses in Dayao aren't cheap. However, you don't even know where your own house is. This was a gift from a friend on the mountain. This is my first time at Dayao. Naturally, they didn't know the location. It's still that you people who come down from the mountains are richer. Because of this, he became more enthusiastic. He proactively showed me the location of the property and told me how to get there. She would occasionally throw me a flirtatious wink, but I was completely unmoved by it, because my heart isn't here at all right now. Following the direction indicated by the female cultivator, I quickly found Qingfeng's residence. It was a small courtyard on the west side. Step outside and you're right in the bustling and lively town center. There is also a clear stream at the entrance. A place like this is really suitable for retirement. Unfortunately, Qingfeng never lived to see that day. Pushing open the door, you see a standard Seheyuan courtyard house. The courtyard is filled with beautiful flowers and plants, but I had no interest in appreciating it at all. Instead, he only rushed to the bedroom. He slammed the door shut behind him. Until this moment, the pain buried deep in her heart could no longer be held back. I burst into tears. Qiantian, right? Yu-ji, right? Wait until one day, my cultivation surpasses yours. I will tear you to pieces. Avenging the bloody hatred of Qingfeng, after venting the pain in his heart, I quickly took out the black box. Let's see if the Demon King needs any more sacrifices. But unexpectedly, the Demon King immediately began the sacrifice. The sacrifice begins. This sacrifice. You need a support skill book. Alchemy. Refining artifacts, musical instruments, cultivation in spiritual fields and similar fields is also acceptable. I'm going. Is the Demon King watching me all along? How come I just got an auxiliary alchemy book? It is about to begin the sacrifice, only. As long as it helps me grow quickly, that's enough. I took out the golden compendium of Materia Medica from my pocket, placed on the altar. Before long, a bolt of lightning appeared. The golden compendium of Materia Medica is gone. Switch to another book. The profound meaning of 5 elements alchemy. I couldn't wait to open the book. It shocked me greatly. Surprisingly, the book didn't introduce any herbal medicine. But after carefully reading the instructions, the more I look, the more shocked I become. 5 elements alchemy doesn't require fixing the formula for herbs. It focuses solely on the different powers of the 5 elements contained within the herbs. Using the essence of the 5 elements spiritual energy to refine pills is the ultimate secret of alchemy. For example, cultivating the wood spirit pill. Only 2 parts of wood spiritual energy are needed. 1 part of the fire spiritual energy. As long as the ratio of spiritual energy is appropriate, any kind of herb is fine. As for the ordinary methods of alchemy, a fixed formula must be followed. Only then can the elixir be refined. I kept scrolling down. He discovered that the book also included a small cultivation technique called spiritual energy identification. It refers to the spiritual energy contained within the herbs. Accurate identification. I didn't even think about it. He immediately sat down and began cultivating. I can't wait any longer. I wanted to put this novel alchemy method into practice, and there were no pills. His own cultivation was far too slow. I don't want to be the next Qingfeng. Early the next morning, so I went to the town market, the land spirit of the Shenwu mountain range in the human realm. A dazzling array of various immortal herbs was everywhere. Premium sage. Come and take a look. Just dug it out the moment before. The most effective medicine. Does anyone want Shuolian? This was collected at the summit of a mountain at 100,000 meters. Just these 3 flowers. Once sold out, that's it. I just learned this cultivation method by luck. The eyes turned light green. All the properties of the herbs. Everything became clear in my eyes. However, the attributes of most herbs are quite chaotic. With my current cultivation level, it was impossible to extract the 5 elements power contained within. Although the 5 elements alchemy method includes the art of purifying spiritual energy, but at the very least, you need to have the cultivation level of support. And only now am I truly grateful. Still far from it. Sigh. For now, he could only find some raw materials with relatively pure 5 elements spiritual energy. This snow lotus seems pretty good. The water attribute inside reached 99%. How are you selling this snow lotus? Sold cheaply. 500 fresh green blossoms each. Do you want to buy it? What? So expensive. I can't afford it. I took another round of the market. I found that I couldn't even buy a few of my fresh green hairs before I used them all. Just as I was about to leave the stage with regret, suddenly, he caught sight of a corner of the wall. A child with a mountain of blue and green is selling some strange flowers. A flower. 5 petals. The colors vary. Each petal contains a power of the 5 elements. Interesting. What is the name of this flower? This is called the 5-colored flower. Everyone says the power within this flower is incredibly diverse, so no one wants them. Kids, how can you do business like this? You have to say it. Although this flower is not that pure, but it's very rare, very valuable. However, everyone thought the flower was useless. Everyone uses this stuff as an ingredient to eat. A leaf in my heart. It turned out the clown was actually himself. I held a flower and started thinking, if they tried to use this flower entirely, it definitely wouldn't work. But if you pick every petal, used according to the 5 elements attribute, it really seems possible. How do you sell it? Because of 1/10 of the fresh arm. Take all these flowers. I was instantly tempted. He pulled a fresh arm out of his pocket. I bought it. A fresh arm. I can't find a way out. Maybe you could wait a moment. I'll go to another stall to exchange for some change. No need. Take it away. Tomorrow, pick more 5-colored flowers. Not enough to make one fairy arm. I'm still here waiting for you. Is that okay? The child gripped his fairy arm tightly. His eyes sparkled. Really? See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. I whistled happily and put away the 9 5-colored flowers on the ground. He turned and went to the alchemy room next door. An immortal arm per hour isn't expensive, and thoughtfully assigned a beautiful female cultivator to tend the fire. She waved her hand. A single flame ignited the pill furnace. Guest? Have you ever refined pills before? No, the first time. Not long after, she came back from outside. Is it really necessary to make it this far? To be honest with you, if it weren't for the boss giving you more money, just this job, no one really wants to do it. It's too dangerous, especially for beginners like you. The first time refining pills, 100% explosion rate. I've never seen it before. Some succeeded on the first try. Then I'll give it a try. I stubbornly refused, but in his heart, he was not convinced. The Demon King's 5 elements alchemy secret technique. It will definitely succeed in one go. Xiaohong didn't say much more to me. She had seen plenty of people like this, thinking he was some kind of genius. No matter how much you say, it won't help. Once they are blown half to death, they'll naturally behave. I took out 9 5-colored flowers from the basket, preparing to refine pills. It shouldn't explode, right? What Xiaohong said really made me a bit scared. Xiaohong was stunned. You only use these things to refine pills. Even these things can be used to refine pills. Actually, I'm not sure either, but you can give it a try. Use herbs that are too expensive. I'm also afraid of waste. That's true. You just came here to familiarize yourself with the alchemy procedures. Plucked 4 green petals. It represents the Wood Spirit Project petal. The 2 red petals are the Fire Spirit Project petals. According to the profound principles of 5 elements alchemy, he could refine a wood spirit pill. Then I added a big bowl of water to the alchemy furnace. Why add water? Shouldn't the spiritual liquid infused with the power of the 5 elements be added? Isn't this just a drill? Actually, I just can't afford it. He could only make do with water. Wait until the water starts boiling. First, I put 4 green petals inside. Soon, the alchemy furnace turned into a pot of green, porridge-like substance. At this point, I asked Xiaohong to simmer it slowly over low heat. An hour later, the green porridge grew thicker and thicker. That's about enough. I quickly put 2 red petals back in. The red petals represent the power of the fire spirit artifact, mainly to burn impurities other than the wooden spirit artifacts. Just then, the green dense boat suddenly began to boil. A strange smell arose. This is the scent of a wooden spiritual artifact, slightly sour. It's almost done. But why did the heat suddenly get too high? Haven't I always simmered it over low heat? Not good. Wood generates fire, flourishing. I sensed something was wrong. Immediately, he rolled around like a donkey, so he hid in the corner. The pills in the furnace exploded with a splash. A powerful shockwave burst out directly from the pill furnace. Damn, luckily quick response. But Xiaohong was in trouble. He was charred all over from the blast. Sure enough, she was the right choice to be fully armed. Luckily, I only dared to hold enough for 1 pill. If it filled a whole pot of medicine, That would be a disaster. Just thinking about it is terrifying. But I had no other choice. No pills to assist. It was simply impossible to quickly advance his cultivation, and let my body be filled with sorrow and regret in the pure wind and storm. I don't believe it. Again, this time, I won't be refining the wood spirit pill. Getting ready to try the elf pill. I took for white petals. Representative is the spirit weapon. The 2 blue petals are water spirit artifacts. To clearly observe the subtle changes throughout the alchemy process. This time, I made it to the limit, but the next second, Dan Liu exploded once again. I was struck by the shockwave, sending me flying. He slammed hard against the wall. Birds, come again. The 3rd time, it exploded. The 4th time, it exploded again. After several failures in a row, my eyes were filled with discoloration, my whole body charred black. I'm about to lose my mind. He entered a state of deep obsession with alchemy. Xiao Hong said nothing. Such fools are not uncommon. You won't turn back until you hit a wall. This is the 9th and final time. Because there are only so many herbs, he could even refine one last fire spirit pill. I sat quietly in the alchemy room. Put all the procedures and your own mistakes. He reflected on everything. The basic judgment is the heat control, because the impurity content in each petal is different. I currently have no purification ability, so you can only control the heat precisely. Gradually remove impurities. Start explosive. No, fire. Xiao Hong. Xiao Hong nodded numbly. This time, I was extremely cautious, learning from all previous lessons. Every movement is very smooth. At the same time, he kept instructing Xiao Hong to control the fire. An hour later, there is a slight sweetness in the air. That's right. The fire spirit pill has a slightly sweet taste. Cooling down. Very good. Stay steady. Simmer slowly over low heat. Another hour passed. The pill furnace hadn't exploded yet. This was the first time in history. I was sweating twice as nervously. Almost. Xiao Hong, preparing to collect the pill. Xiao Hong instantly turned the fire to its highest level. I used all my strength to lift the stove lid. According to real alchemy, the furnace lid should be opened with magic. The pill will automatically spray out. But I don't know magic either. You can only use full force. I just didn't expect the stove lid to be quite heavy, until I hugged her tightly, her face tight and veins bulging. Only then did he finally lift the scoop. With a snort, a small sticky lump. It was sprayed out of the pill furnace, stuck to the roof. I leapt up. Put the sticky stuff on the ceiling. He held it in his palm. This is the fire spirit pill. Why is it all sticky and sticky? After thinking for a moment, I simply used my hand to wipe this sticky mass. It was directly kneaded into a ball. This makes it look much better. It looked like a pill. Pure fire elemental power came from his palm. It seems I really succeeded, but somehow, it was just a little sticky to the touch. So embarrassing. But Xiao Hong widened her eyes. Almost unbelievable. He was a fire element cultivator. He is extremely sensitive to the aura of the fire spirit pill. Although this pill was a bit poorly made, but it was a genuine fire spirit pill. This kid was refining pills for the first time. He actually managed to cover it up. Could it really be him? This counts as success. Not really. The quality is just too poor. Congratulations. You are the only novice who succeeds on your first attempt at alchemy. Really? Then wouldn't I be a genius at alchemy? You could say that. Xiao Hong thought about my clumsy technique when refining pills. This answer was somewhat insincere. When I got home, I was already exhausted. Yet he felt no sleepiness at all. Instead, he immediately sat cross-legged. He scooped down the inferior fire spirit pill in one go. I can't wait to know the effects of the fire spirit pill. I spent a year guiding them. He carefully channeled this power into the Qi fire spirit root. In just an instant, inside the body, it becomes a red world. At the same time, an invisible flame flickered around me. If a cultivator spies at this moment, they'd probably think I'm a typical fire-type cultivator. I was very pleased. I am finally a cultivator with spiritual energy, but now I dare to reach that point. It can only be used for strengthening the body and repairing the body. It still cannot achieve energy outward release. If the energy is directly released, at the very least, he needed to reach the third level of Qi refining. It seems we need to work twice as hard. The next day, I found the child and got 5 colored flowers. Then he turned and headed straight for the pill refining room. He thought he had figured out the trick yesterday, but after a whole day of work, in the end, only 1 elf pill was produced. It turned out he had refined the pill yesterday. It was just an accident. The weather has entered autumn. Golden leaves cover the valley. Exceptionally beautiful. Every day, I buy flowers for the kids. Alchemy. Practice. The level of alchemy gradually began to rise. From the initial 10 times, 9 were blasted. Turns into 10 explosions, 8 times. The final limit was reached. It can only go from 10 tries to 3 or 4 times. Because I realized this was no longer just about alchemy. It's that his own cultivation can't keep up. It's impossible to precisely control the timing. Plus, the magazines in the herbs are all sorts of strange things. If you're not careful, it could explode. Another month passed. I rely on the aid of pills. Finally, the 5 points of light were cultivated to be extremely bright. With enough energy, he began cultivating the 5 Thunder Demon Bow. The 5-star formation in the Qi Sea slowly began to activate. After mutual restraints, they are completely exhausted. What is the purpose of this formation? Suddenly, thunder rumbled. Above the formation disk, a bolt of multicolored thunder, faintly visible in the mist. I suddenly understood. No wonder this technique is called 5 Elements Divine Thunder. It turns out it's the power of the 5 elements to counter each other, grinding spiritual power into even finer energy. This energy does not disappear. Instead, it was elevated into divine thunder. The battle lines rose up. Shenlei fell. Practiced the first level of breakthrough. I was extremely excited. He finally truly crossed the threshold of cultivation, became a cultivator, suppressing the wild joy in his heart. I couldn't wait to open the second chapter of the 5 Thunder Demonic Offering. The second part of cultivation remains the same, gathering energy into the 5 elements spiritual root. Once the energy is strong enough, he could begin to control the divine thunder with his divine sense. Although this realm cannot release spiritual energy outward, but you can use this divine thunder for protection and fitness. It also allows you to empower yourself. The body's toughness has greatly increased. I can't wait even a moment. He immediately played chess and meditated. Assault the second level of the forging process. This second time is asking for too much energy. If this skill had been practiced in ancient times, naturally, it was effortless. It is said that spiritual energy in that era was as dense as liquid. Practice is easier than drinking water. There are as many elixirs as dogs in number. Yuan Ying delivers food everywhere in Dacheng. But now it was the age of the end of Dharma. The spiritual energy gradually dried up. Even the time spent cultivating the golden core was very few. Practice according to this technique. Only one path remains. That is, using a large amount of pills. But how many gathering pills would that take? Going bankrupt. But he was already on the pirate ship. Now, he could only grit his teeth and continue cultivating. Fortunately, this demon palace is far superior to the immortals' techniques, and in a single day, it was completed. It's truly a dimensionality reduction strike. So for now, I can also use the cheapest 5-colored flowers, refine the gathering pill, barely able to sustain his cultivation. In the blink of an eye, winter arrived. The valley was covered in a silvery white. Snowflakes began to fall from the sky. I also successfully broke through the second layer of the refinement elixir. Now I can control divine thunder with my mind. It freely roams through the meridians throughout its body. His body also became exceptionally robust. With my current physique, even if UG came, not even a single sword can kill me. It had to stab a few more times. But this immortal wall is being consumed a bit quickly. But I also don't plan to go out to work, because I need to hurry and continue breaking through the 3rd level. Only by breaking through this realm can one break through. Only then can I have basic self-protection skills. And now you can learn spells too. It was even a huge improvement in alchemy. Time passes. I have been living in Dayao for an entire year. Winter passes, spring arrives, summer arrives again. I had reached the 3rd level of practicing chess, and breakthrough has reached the 3rd level of practice games. But the divine thunder had been suppressed for too long. The first time he broke free from his body, uncontrollably flying toward the rooftop. The roof was instantly blasted with a large hole. Then it flew straight out again. Oh no. but don't let anyone see it. This divine thunder of mine is a technique from Manhua. If someone finds out, it will definitely bring big trouble. Just when I was feeling anxious, suddenly, the earth shook and mountains trembled. The sky turned a ghastly green. A strange, howling wind blew in. No way, my divine thunder is so powerful. At that moment, screams suddenly erupted outside the house. I immediately sensed something was wrong. He hurriedly pushed open the door and entered the courtyard. Suddenly, a terrifying green cold wind blew from the horizon, blowing in the big medicine. Countless roofs were torn off. Someone was swept up. He screamed and flew into the air. Then, in an instant, only white bones were left to corrode. In the end, the white bones also turned to powder, falling in a flurry of streams. Is this the end of the world? Fortunately, this strange wind came quickly, and left quickly. It only took half the time it takes to burn out an incense stick. Then he vanished without a trace. Little did they know this sudden upheaval. It saved my life. All the immortals of the 13 winds were also alarmed. The sky was filled with immortals encountering flight, and saw light spreading everywhere. Among them was a clumsy immortal swaying back and forth, flying full and dripping everywhere. Apparently, they had just learned to meet flying. But in the next second, he was then struck by a strange flying snake hiding beneath the jungle. Swallowed it in one gulp. The immortal's scream slid through the valley. All the immortals looked over. You have to see the light of day before it flashes by. The flying snake was cut in midair on the spot. Everyone unleashed their immortal arts to intimidate them. Only I can see it. I saw something very small, falling gracefully from the sky. It landed not far from himself. My heart stirred. This must be the immortal's treasure. He immediately took off and ran toward that direction. But I just saw the dropped thing, but was interrupted by a deep voice. Stop, you reckless fool. Hurry up and get out of here. Not sure if the magic algae appeared earlier. Looking into the distance. Indeed, one appeared in the forest. This terrifying green pond. The area is not large. It was only a few jong in circumference. They are spewing with terrifying green foam. And the corpse of that flying serpent. It also landed near that pond. Is that the claw of the demon? Reality. Did the flying snake fly out from the demon circle? It was truly terrifying. Nonsense. This is not a place for people like you. Hurry back. The area around this area has been sealed off. Yes, I'm leaving right away. I don't intend to take any risks. He first noted down the location. He turned to leave. Suddenly, there was a loud bang. Manhua Yang has posted a registration. The green liquid soared into the air. A golden opportunity, and more. When the immortal looks at me again, I really ran toward the direction of the big rock. This thought is so timid, and you still dare to come here to join the fun. Now it's running away like a dog. What a reckless fellow. But I just got home. He saw the neighbor standing at the door, sighing in grief. A storm of wind is about to arrive. A great disaster is looming. Disaster is coming. My heart stirred, listening to the old man's words. He seemed to know a lot in the green wind. I walked over to the luggage. The old man, excuse me. You just said a storm was coming. What does that mean? Youth, you don't understand. On this continent, every 129,600 years, there was a major disaster. Could avoid it, and then enter the next era. You can't avoid it, and thus vanished like smoke and clouds. Even immortals are no exception. Could it be that the great disaster? Is it right in front of you? That's exactly it. Count the time. 3,000 years later, the year of great disaster is approaching. Now there is already the wind of demonic rain. It started to blow over occasionally. This is the sign. 3,000 years. Still early, then it's fine. He reached the peak of the golden core stage. Only then can one live for 3,000 years. He still didn't know if he could cultivate enough to forge chickens. A great disaster 3,000 years from now. It seemed to have nothing to do with me. By the way, elderly, is the catastrophe you just mentioned the hell prison? Of course, the flying serpent just now was a demonic prison ferocious beast. 3,000 years later, the demonic prison reappeared. The immortals could no longer find peace. The world is about to be reshuffled. But it has nothing to do with me. Even this old man won't live to see that day. Just then, several engineering workers suddenly walked over. Young man, I invited them here. I see your house is broken too, and let master fix it while you're at it. Thank you so much. I went back inside to wait. Soon, master arrived. Perfectly round. This hole, it was obvious that the monster made it was made by the magic jade monster. Not only is it round, there were also subtle magic jade energy reactions at the edges. Young man, you're really lucky. There must be creatures from the demon domain passing through here. What a relief. It only ruins your roof. It hasn't hurt you. This is not easy to handle. You give me 2 immortal walls. I'll fix it for you right now. Alright, then help me fix it. This is the immortal wall. After master finished repairing and sent him off, I hurried over and closed the courtyard gate. His back pressed tightly against the door panel, clutching her uncontrollable heart. Fortunately, the cold wind passed through today. It was just a mess. If the immortals discover that he possesses demonic arts, skin is flayed and bones shattered. That's considered a light amount. After a while, he recovered. I just walked inside. He took out a storage pouch he'd picked up from his pocket, but I found that this bag was of the lowest quality. Not only that, he even locked it. I'm risking my life. He just picked up a disease. Poverty turns away from virtuous men. Shameless. No, it is incorrect. You can give it to the Demon King. Doesn't the Demon Lord take all kinds of junk? Sure enough, as soon as I opened the black box, in an instant, it turned into an altar. A familiar voice rang out. Please sacrifice a magical treasure. The Demon King really still loves me. After the sacrifice is completed, the pouch disappears. A small black square appeared on the table. At the same time, information about this small square immediately appeared in his mind. Black square growth container. After absorbing energy, it can grow. The space inside can gradually expand. The variety it can accommodate will also increase. This thing is great. But how do these things grow? Since this thing is a magical treasure, he definitely had to use spiritual power to activate it. I happen to be leveling 3 layers. It can release spiritual energy outward. I carefully transferred the divine thunder energy from my chi, slowly released from his fingertips. As soon as the spiritual energy touched the black side, it was a thunderous explosion. Where's my black side? Oh no. Could it be blown up? He was glancing at it. Is my spiritual power really that violent? Just then, suddenly, the chi inside me stirred. I quickly sat down to rest. He focused his mind and entered a meditative state. The soul entered the chi. I immediately spotted the black square that had just disappeared. It was hidden within the divine thunder and mist, frantically absorbing the energy of the divine thunder. Stop. I've only been cultivating for a few days. He had accumulated a bit of divine thunder energy. Is it easy for me? I immediately cut off the energy recharge from the divine thunder supplying him. Unexpectedly, Black got angry. He stubbornly hid in the divine thunder mist, refusing to come out. This magical treasure actually has quite a unique character. Forget it, since he liked it here. Just hide here, okay? And to avoid being discovered by others. By the way, you can first see what Black looks like inside. The name here really matches his name. It was pitch black. However, it can hold quite a lot of stuff now. Huh? How could there be a book here? Could this black side be modified by the Demon King using a pouch? That's why the previous cultivator's belongings were left behind. The Demon King is really that tough. Even the sect master of the sword sect probably couldn't do it. It seems following the Demon King really holds hope. If he was still alive 3,000 years from now. When the wind disaster blows and the Demon King descends. Could he also follow the boss Medicine Ingwe for a while? Feeling so happy, I came out from Black. I took a look at this book. This book records an offensive spell. Called AO Tactics, completely unsuitable for humans. It seemed to be some kind of strange spell from the legendary ancient pig kidney. The sacrifice begins. Please offer a sacrificial ritual manual. What a coincidence. Without hesitation, I offered AO Sanfa up the mountain. A moment later, A new cheat book appeared on the altar, the 5 Thunder Vertical Method. I opened the book and took a closer look. It recorded 5 cultivation methods. Magic Jade Fire Dragon, Fire type. Earth Shield, Earth type. All things come back to life, Wood type. Divine Sword Technique, Metal Series. Fetal Western Techniques, Water System. This is a technique that transforms Divine Thunder into the power of the 5 elements. Could it be that the Demon King knows that the power of Divine Thunder is not suitable for appearing in this world, so he specially prepared a technique for me to convert Divine Thunder into the 5 elements? The Demon King is truly thoughtful, knowing how to hide for yourself. Next time, I'll definitely feed you some good sword skills, eating garbage every day. Even the all-powerful Demon King, I guess they can't stand it either. I looked at the 5 spells before me. After thinking it over, I decided to pick an offensive spell. After all, there was no attack. No matter how strong the defenses were, he was also passively taking the hit. There are 2 attack spells. I decisively chose the Divine Sword technique because the Jade Fire Dragon summons a Dragon of the Ring. In this cultivation world teeming with immortals, you can recognize them at a glance. The Divine Sword technique transforms Divine Thunder into spirit weapons. He conjured a phantom flying sword. Kill your opponent. After achieving minor cultivation success, he can unleash 7 divine swords at once, forming a Sword King to face the enemy. If you cultivate to the Great City, he can unleash 108 divine swords in one go. They charged in like a smashing fire. If one cultivates to the ultimate perfection, there is no limit to the number of divine swords. How many can be summoned? It depends on your aura limit. Endless Sword Language can slay all enemies. It can even kill Golden Core cultivators in one go. I followed the cultivation method in the book. He tried to convert the Divine Thunder into golden spiritual energy, guiding spiritual energy to condense into tangible objects. The call made my palm tremble. A small silver-white sword appeared in my palm. It's just a bit small, only 3 inches long. It was even shorter than a dagger, but even so, I couldn't suppress the joy in my heart. After all, this was my first time casting a spell. Cultivation is truly amazing. Oh, no, it is incorrect. Cultivating demons is truly miraculous. Absorbed the last external release of the Divine Thunder. Uncontrolled lessons. I ran all the way for 3 days, arriving at a hidden valley in the forest. Only then did he stop walking. I condensed a divine sword in the palm of my hand, aimed at a giant tree 500 meters wide ahead. The divine stone controlled the divine sword and flew forward. The divine sword sliced through the big tree. The tree collapsed with a thunderous roar. How to go down in my direction? I was so scared I quickly dodged. Such a big tree could really crush me to death. A large tree fell to the ground. The ground of my ground hummed, running around among countless small animals. Gooey gooey. This is incredible. I wonder what happens when I encounter granite. I kept controlling the divine sword. He continuously slashed at the surrounding boulders. After a series of thunderous explosions, all the boulders were cut apart. After reaching the 13 sword strikes, my vision went black. A flashing gun crawled to the ground. The spiritual energy within his body was exhausted. The divine sword turned into a point of light, disappearing into thin air. In other words, this level of attack, I can only use 13 swords. If the 13 swords hadn't killed the enemy, then I have no chance at all. He didn't even know what he was capable of. And other cultivators at the 3rd level of cultivation. How does it compare? It should be probably. It probably feels similar to everyone else. At that time, I still didn't know this kind of attack power. If other 3rd level chi refining cultivators saw it, coming home at night definitely leads to nightmares. Cultivating immortality is really awesome. It was demonic cultivation. Drink 2 chi gathering pills. Add some spiritual energy. Time to go home. Without the blessing of divine fatigue, how long would it take me to walk before I could get home? With utter helplessness, I gritted my teeth and walked for 9 days. Only after tears turned to tears like dogs did I finally get home. But the next day, I couldn't wait to get up. I need to quickly find the child to get the 5-colored flower. He continued to practice alchemy. After all, he had experienced the power of the divine sword. I have to work even harder. Han Xiao at the alley entrance saw me. His eyes lit up. He hurried over, holding a cloth bag. Brother Zhong. There are more than 235 colored flowers here. Take both immortal walls for you. I paused, feeling the money in my pocket, unconsciously. He only had 3 immortal arms left. Looking at Han Xiao before him, he was completely different from before. A whole set of beautiful clothes, full of energy, 1,000 immortal arms, eating, drinking, and having fun. That's money you could never spend in a lifetime. But once you start practicing, even I was so frugal, it only took a little over a year. Cultivation really can ruin someone. I took out 2 immortal arms and handed them to Han Xiao. Then I took the last immortal arm. He arrived at the pill training room. In the end, I could only practice for an hour. My heart suddenly tightened. So he simply trained all these 235 colored flowers. Now I have reached the 3rd level of artifact refining. It can directly guide slinging practice with spiritual energy, fully remotely controlled. And so, an hour passed like this, a rich and mellow medicine cabinet. The entire alchemy room had already been filled with the atmosphere. The time was about right. Stove open. It worked. This batch actually produced more than 65-star chi gathering bombs, and the cities are all this high. Sigh. If it weren't for fearing that the tree would attract wind, I really want to sell all the ammunition I have. This is replaced with the immortal wall. You can buy better materials to practice your balls. Currently, there is a low-quality Juki Dan on the market. It costs 500 immortal J. In the coming time, I use the gathering pill to assist. I will first make the divine sword technique even more proficient. Flashing in the light, hit wherever you point. He also revived all wood element creatures. Earth-type Earth Shield. Fire-type summoning Demon Dragon. He learned all the water element sighing spells one by one. A month later, I swallowed the last gathering pill, successfully broke through to the 4th level of artifact forging. At the very moment of breakthrough, my divine stone spread outward by double. The investigation covered more than 20 camps, everything happening inside the courtyard. No matter what, the slightest disturbance happens. Heavy ants crawl clearly and realistically. A long sound. I woke from meditation. After breaking through, his physique also became stronger. It's time to go out and work to earn money. But just then, the altar suddenly opened. Please offer a flying sword or other flying magical treasure. Flying sword. He hadn't reached the 8th level of artifact refinement yet. He simply couldn't control flying artifacts. Even with flying swords, they can't fly now. And most importantly, a flying sword costs at least 3,000 seers. Buy me a scrap of cash. For now, the only option is to go to the management office to inquire about the job. Before long, I went to the reception desk at the management office. Senior brother, are there any good job postings recently? It's the kind of work that feels relatively easy, and the benefits are high, bro. The kind of job you want. You need a good father. Ordinary people really have no choice. Our ordinary big shaker Simin, not even as good as the mountain Laborus. If you want to rise to the top in one step, that would be too difficult. But there is indeed one. That is, you might not meet the requirements. Requires at least 4 layers of chi refining. What a coincidence. Senior brother, I'm exactly 4 floors. He was shocked by my words. After all, the pills were too expensive. Ordinary cultivators of Da Yao. Once you reach the 3rd level of chi refining, you're basically done. There weren't even many who had reached the 3rd floor. Senior brother snapped back to reality. He quickly said, since you are already at the 4th level of chi refining, then he could have gone to Ling Valley Wind to apply. Responsible for guarding the spiritual fields. The work there is relatively easy. The treatment is good. But the requirements are quite high. Requires at least 4 layers of spiritual energy. If it's wood or metal energy, that makes it easier. I've also heard that the elders there are the most generous. If you really can take good care of Ling Tian, they also reward treasures. I heard he has a lot of flying swords, often bestowed flying swords upon her. Even if you don't need it yourself, bring it back for the Tianbao furnace to recycle. There are also quite a few of them. Hearing this, my heart started pounding. I'm going. Isn't this just the flying sword that the Demon King needs? Then may I ask you, senior brother, I understand that planting spiritual fields requires wooden spirit tools. Why do they still need to recruit cultivators for gold and spiritual artifacts? I'm not really sure about that. If you are a dual cultivator with both wooden and gold spiritual artifacts, if you recruit, You will definitely be hired, and I won't hide it from you. The elders of Lingufeng are actually quite fierce. You take good care of yourself, of course. If you can't take good care of her, they were often rebuffed or even beaten. Then he was kicked out. But rest assured, there has never been a fatality there. Thanks, senior brother. I'll go take a look. Lingu Peak recruits spirit field managers. Qi refining is above the 4th level. His main job is to guard the spiritual fields. Golden spiritual roots come first. Wood spirit roots can also be considered. Only one person was summoned. 15 of the first arms each month. Hold on. I immediately stepped forward. He even made it to the end of the line. The cultivators ahead stepped forward one by one to test the test. No, your spiritual energy is too weak. Please leave. Next, Chilean drove away several of them. Only one person remained ahead. It's my turn. The burly man in front placed his hand on the spiritual energy stone. The spiritual energy stone instantly burst forth with dazzling red light. The fat man's eyes lit up. Finally, I saw a good one. Your spiritual energy is indeed rich and profound, but it was a fire attribute. For layers of Qi refining are already rare to begin with. You don't have to be refined or woody. Isn't that asking too much? I know your purpose. Isn't it just weeding and fertilizing? Although fire isn't as refined as wood types, but it's not impossible. The chubby guy was clearly hesitant. After all, after recruiting for so long, there hasn't been a suitable one. Or maybe let this person go back and give it a try. Maybe it really works. I took in the fat man's expression at a glance. His heart tightened instantly. Brilliant. If he confessed, what should I do? Immortal Chief, I have dual attributes of metal and wood. For layers of training, the burly man suddenly stood up and glared at me, but I completely ignored them. He just looked attentively at the chubby Taoist. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I have to fight for it. Oh? I see. Come over and give it a try. Let me first see how rich your spiritual energy is. The burly man gritted his teeth. He didn't dare to act recklessly in front of the immortal master. Helplessly, they could only make way, but he did not want to leave. He considered himself 40% of his Qi cultivation. The spiritual energy was incredibly rich and abundant, not something ordinary people can compare to. Kid. Even with both fine and wood energy attributes. If the spiritual energy is too weak, nor could it catch the immortal master's eye, just wait to be eliminated. I stretched out my right hand. He transferred the divine energy within his body, quickly transformed into both golden and wood spiritual energies. Only then did he place his hand on the spiritual energy stone. In an instant, half of the spiritual energy stones are white. The other half is cyan. Two colors intertwine, emitting light together, harmonious and contrary to the norm. It really is a dual attribute of gold and wood. Both attributes are so pure. And it is unmatched in depth and depth. It's truly rare. Very good. No need to choose anymore. I've saved you. Come with me. That one. Hours later, Pang actually led me to the mid-mountain of Lingufeng. Here, terraced fields are built along the mountain. Patches of spiritual fields were scattered and scattered. Everywhere I look, pure and serene, spiritual energy fills the air. Remember, the spiritual fields here, it's all your responsibility. These spirit rice have just been planted. It is a critical period. There are 30 men in total. Let's go. I'll take you to pay respects to the elders. I followed closely behind the chubby Taoist. Continue upward along the mountain path. But just as he stepped out of the boundary of the big shake, suddenly, mist rose. The surroundings became incredibly magical. Vague and indistinct, the surrounding images were completely obscured. This was the mountain protecting town arranged by the senior. Don't come here alone easily. And we, the caring gatekeepers, often slack off, often absent from their posts. But you must not enter by mistake. I will remember this well. The two continued walking forward. The illusion suddenly vanished. A quaint cave appeared before his eyes. Elder of the tomb. Disciple Fang Xiaopang came to report. I have found the most suitable candidate to protect the spiritual field. I respectfully ask the elders of the tomb to take a look. Another little guy at the 4th level of artifact refining. Can you withstand it? Elder. Servants can reach the 4th level of artifact forging. They are already very rare. I also searched for a long time. That's how I found such a qualified person. Forget it. Let him try it first. This is the exclusive token for Lingu style. Sometimes you have to make a trip up the mountain. Some tools are also on the mountain. You mean this spirit token can enter Lingu Peak at will? It can also help illuminate your illusions. But remember, besides the workplace, do not run around anywhere else. The previous young man who guarded the spiritual fields was quite good. You're already at the 5th level of chi refining. Yet he insisted on running out to compete with the monsters. But instead, he was eaten by the monster. What a pity. There is still half a year left in the growth period of the spiritual fields. I'll leave the rest to you to manage. Specific methods. Xiaopang will hand it over to you. If you are careless or perfunctory at work, the younger generation dares not be negligent. All right, step back. Do not disturb my peaceful cultivation. After saying this, the old man turned and went back into the cave. Then I followed Fang Xiaopang back to the spiritual field. He led me to the bathroom in the center of the terrace. This stone is the key to the formation. Through this stone, it can activate the following natural formations. It can continuously generate vast spiritual energy. This spiritual energy is actually not very suitable for cultivation, but it is especially suitable for plant growth. The method is also very simple. You just need to infuse spiritual energy. The best type of spiritual energy is wood spiritual energy. The purer and thicker the car, the better. Activate once every morning. Immortal Chief. Here, you need wood spiritual energy. I understand. What use is that golden spiritual energy? The rest of the work required the golden spirit energy. After the formation was activated, it's not just suitable for spiritual path growth. Some weeds and flowers also grow wildly. After being nourished by spiritual energy, these weeds are extremely difficult to deal with. It's best to use a golden spirit tool to cut off its roots. Otherwise, kill today. Tomorrow it will grow again. That would be tough. Especially the 5-colored flowers. This flower is rich in energy. It's the most headache-inducing part, no? Is it just the ingredients for alchemy? You've come to the right place. He laughed clearly. You're only at the 4th level of artifact refining. It is difficult to thoroughly remove the rhizomes of the 5-colored flower. In this land of spiritual artifacts, the flower was almost a stem. The roots and stems are deeply hidden, not revealed. It will also run around and grow everywhere. You'll need to work harder, handle daily, not letting them absorb too much spiritual energy. The second function of this golden spiritual energy, it's time to harvest rice. Harvesting rice. This also requires golden spiritual energy. That's right. When the rice ripens, requires golden spiritual energy. Separate the mature rice pears from the stalks. Don't think this job is easy. This is Ling Tian. The strength of rice stalks. It will definitely exceed your imagination. Let's go. I'll take you to see where you live. Fang Xiaopang then took me to a nearby cliff. There is a cave here. I followed Fang Xiaopang into the cave. Inside, it's even bigger than I imagined. A fire spirit stone hung above the central hall. Emit light. Not only did it light up the hall, it also removes all the dampness from the cave. There are 5 stone chambers nearby that can accommodate people alone. Then Fang Xiaopang opened a large storage room nearby. These jade jars were all vessels for storing rice. It will also be a future assessment for you. First, check the quality of the top rice. Second, the output of 0 meters. You must remember this. This spirit rice is not for you. Everything must be handed over to Lingu Peak, and under no circumstances should one hide private matters, and harbor even more hopes of opportunism. I thought the immortal wouldn't notice. Otherwise, they'd be beaten up and driven out of Lingu Peak. Don't say I didn't warn you. Alright, that's all there is to it. Don't lose heart. Some spirit rice is of particularly poor quality. The elder wouldn't want it either. I will give you some rewards. Ordinary people rarely get to eat second-grade spirit rice. I've said everything I needed to say. Take care of yourself. I bowed repeatedly and forcefully, respectfully bidding farewell to Fang Xiaopang. Watching him leave, Fang Xiaopang had just left. I immediately set off for the spiritual fields. The most important thing right now It's about taking good care of the spiritual fields. Only then can you have a chance to obtain it. Elder Lingmu's flying sword reward. Soon, I arrived at the center of the spiritual field formation. According to what Fang Xiaopang had taught, he infused the wooden spirit artifact into the spirit stones. There really is a 54 story. I force myself to suppress my excitement. For now, it's best to deal with the other weeds first. I wield the divine sword. He directly locked onto the root of the wild grass and stabbed it forward. But the wild grass seemed to sense it all along. Quickly discard the newly grown grass leaves and grass paths. I stabbed straight into the air. Has all this wild grass become spirits? 10 zhong away in the distance, the roots of that wild grass were absorbing spiritual energy. In an instant, it grew back again, swaying back and forth, showing off to me. I still don't believe it. I can't beat you with a single blade of grass. Zhong Pingan, swear, today, I will make an impossible deal with this wild grass. And so, each person and one herb chased for the time it takes to burn an incense stick. Gradually, I figured out the pattern of this wild grass. Each time it stopped and walked, it was 10 zhong long, no more, no less. I once again activated my flying sword and thrust it to a distance of 10 zhong in front of him. Sure enough, the wild grass happened to crash right into it. I stabbed him right in the act. It withered away instantly. I often breathe a sigh of relief. Now I finally understand what Elder Lingmu said. Another little guy at the 4th level of Qi refining. Can you withstand it? This is weeding. Turns out, it really is a life of hostility. After a while, my weeding skills are getting better and better. Unconsciously, my divine sword technique also increased by a strike, upgraded from 1 sword to 2. However, the second sword is smaller than the first. I wielded 2 silver-white swords. They cover and kill each other. Not much is just weeds in the fields. That's how much it was handled. Only leftover rice seedlings remain, and the 5-colored flowers blooming everywhere in the fields. Naturally, I couldn't bear to kill the 5-colored flower. Only the flowers and leaves are taken. Release the roots and stems away, and the purity here is extremely high. Using these 5-colored flowers to refine pills, it definitely surpasses the standard sewing tools on the market. But here's the problem. There's no alchemy furnace where I live either. Forget it. Stockpile 5-colored flowers first. These things, let's talk about it later. Time passes. In the blink of an eye, autumn has arrived. The spiritual field is covered in gold. It seemed the time to harvest 0 meters was near. Fang Xiaopang suddenly came over to notify me. Tomorrow, Elder Lingmu will come to inspect you. Keep things clean. Remember this thoroughly. Notification. I immediately cleared more than half of the 5-colored flowers from the field. Then add some high-quality 5-colored flowers. They all rushed to dark places to hide. After all, saving face is still very important. The next day, after Elder Lingmu toured the spiritual fields, he nodded in satisfaction. You've done well these past few months. It exceeded my expectations. This is a reward from me. Thank you. Elder of Lingmu. Also, the rice fields are about to be harvested. This is the most critical step. But I have matters to attend to. He needed to leave the sect for a while. During this period, you must handle the final harvest step well. I'll have Xiaopang teach you. Wait until the rice harvest is complete. Winter is almost here. If the harvest is not a problem, all through the winter, I'll give you a day off. It can move around on its own. Yes. Elder Lingmu's jade sword flew away. I hurried back into the cave. Placed the flying sword on the altar. This is it. Flying magical treasures. Is the Demon King mistaken? Next, I used my divine sense to sense the information about the basin. Flying demon basin. A flying treasure with incredible speed. Traveling 10,000 miles a day is no problem. The magic basin does not sink when entering water, and when it enters the fire, it is not burned. No poison could wash the magic basin in the slightest. It was exceptionally solid. It really is flying and venting. You can imagine that others are all stepping on flying swords. Auspicious clouds fly freely in the sky, and he stepped on a wash basin between them. Just thinking about it is embarrassing. I directly threw the flying demon basin into black square. Out of sight, out of mind. Anyway, he was still far from mastering the flight of lust. There's no need for this embarrassing thing now. This made the Demon King's voice rang out again. Please trap an auxiliary tool. The first thing that comes to my mind is Danroku. After all, he needed a single floor right now. However, where am I supposed to get a single building to get back? No, it is incorrect. Every move I make, are they all being watched by the Demon King? How come I happen to be missing something? Assign whatever the on-site mission is. And that flying demon basin from earlier. Why is he in such a hurry to do something for me? There was a vague sense of this. Anything the Demon King gives him, all of them are things you can use yourself. A few days later, mature at 0 meters, I followed the method Fang Xiaopang taught me. He gripped the rail with his hand, feeling the wooden spiritual artifact inside the Dao pole, then suddenly unleashed the spirit artifact, directly cut off the flow of the wooden spiritual artifact inside the Dao pole. The moment the rail pole was cut, rice fragments suddenly bloomed. All the spiritual rice scattered into the air. I quickly released my spiritual power. He controlled the spiritual rice in the air, gathered together in midair. Then he fell into the bathtub that had been prepared nearby. It worked. This method is a bit similar to my order collection. But it really is hard work. After all, rice scraps had to be collected one by one. He was busy for several days. Finally, all the spirit rice was collected in the bath jar. Fang Xiaopang checked each jar one by one. Peace. This year's harvest is truly impressive. There are several more cans than in previous years. The quality is also good. You never thought to secretly leave some for yourself. The first teacher, Elder Linmu, has treated me well. Still enjoying my own splashes. I absolutely wouldn't do such a thing. Peace. This is the last half can. It wasn't fully loaded either. Selling it isn't a good trick. Besides, Elder Linmu might not know either. Might as well just stay and stay. You probably don't know yet. This is definitely a hot item for big shakes. It's so valuable. If calculated at 50,000 cental coins, we brothers each get 25,000 centaric. How about that? Fang Xiansha, you're being confused. True 53 abundant harvests. Our Lingu Peak specializes in farming. You absolutely can't do that. Besides, this Lingmi is going to be sold to the Lingbao Pavilion. The Lingbao Pavilion possesses vast divine powers, except for them. If other spirit fans appear on the market. Do you think Lingbao Ji will keep going with him to the end? We'll sell it privately. Would that not be walking right into a snare? Makes sense. Or maybe you've thought it through. How about this? We can keep it for now. I'll find opportunities to ship slowly in the future. If you really can't get out, he ate it himself. That's great too. I would never do that. Master Fang didn't need to persuade him any further. Peace. I was just testing you just now. Never would have expected. Your will is so strong. Not bad, not bad. To be honest with you, this was also the tomb elder before he left. Tell me the test you're giving me. The tomb elder said, if you pass the test, next year, we will give you priority admission. Also, you can mention one more, not demanding too much. These old lanterns, none of them are truly skilled. Each one was incredibly shrewd. Fortunately, he was honest. No greed arises. Otherwise, who knows? He was about to get beaten up, driven out of the tomb drum. Thank you, Mr. Fang. I wholeheartedly worked for Ling Gui Feng, and harbored absolutely no divided loyalties. Okay. Peace. Have you decided what reward you want, Mr. Fang? Does our Lin Gufeng also have an alchemy room? Of course, there was an alchemy room. Whether it's an outer sect or an inner disciple, alchemy is a required course. If you want to refine pills, I'll arrange for the outer sect alchemy room, open to you for several days. Mr. Fang misunderstood. How could I dare use the Immortal Master's alchemy room? It's just that the Immortal Masters are learning to refine pills. An explosion is inevitable. Is there a pill furnace that has been blown apart? The kind that can't be fixed? Send me one. Why do you need a broken single furnace? Here's the situation. I've always wanted to learn the art of forging, so I wanted to find a broken single furnace to study it. Peace. You are a natural farmer. Don't let your energy get distracted to learn that useless artifact forging technique that requires a high price to learn. I've never heard of poor people learning to forge artifacts. Yes, I will definitely focus on farming. I will never forget this profession. But winters are long. He had to find a job. I never thought of becoming a master artifact refiner. Just be able to craft some ordinary tools casually. Alright, since you insisted, then I can make the decision. I'll take you to pick up a damaged pill furnace right now. Soon, Fang Xiaopang and I passed through the love zone. They arrived at the garbage dump at the outer gate. Go in and look for it yourself. I won't stay with you. Tomorrow, we'll take 0 meter to Dayao. Many thanks to the late teacher. Then I completely ignored the stench coming from me. Impatiently, he rushed into the dump. He searched inside for a long time. He managed to find a complete pill furnace, but the list is full of gaps. Even if it's trash. At the very least, he should give the Demon King something better. I was very cautious. He carried the pill-breaking furnace he'd picked up from the junkyard and walked back, afraid that the rack might suddenly fall apart and completely shatter. But I never expected this. I entered the room. While closing the door with one hand, he accidentally bumped into the pill furnace. The pill furnace was instantly reduced to a pile of shattered pieces. Big. People probably wouldn't mind. Forget it, whatever, and more. I woke up after a nap. A brand new alchemy furnace appeared in his room. I told you, the Demon King never minds junk. He wants everything. Then, I used my divine sense to probe the pill furnace, and information about the pill furnace instantly appeared. Universe Furnace. A top-tier alchemy furnace uses the fire of heaven and earth to fuse pills. It can refine up to heavenly pills. Heavenly pill, isn't that a pill you can only hear of in legends? The Demon King is really generous. I quickly hid the Qianquan furnace inside the black square. This stove must not be easily seen. And now, they don't have the money to buy a lifestyle of cold pigs. Let's wait and see. Early the next morning, Fang Xiaopang arrived. He was holding a palm-sized paper cart. I was full of curiosity. What is this for? Watch closely. I'll do a trick for you. Paper. Cars can fly too. Don't underestimate it. It can not only fly, the load capacity can exceed 1,000 jin. Quick, bring all the stored 0 meters up there. I quickly loaded the 0 meter into the car, can by can. Then Fang Xiaopang shouted, low quality. The paper cart steadily flew down the mountain. Hold it steady. I'm going to speed up. The wind arose. Chicken. This is your first time riding a paper spaceship. I'll just sit there a few more times in the future. Half an hour later, the paper cart landed at the warehouse entrance of Linbao Pavilion in Dayao Town. I was responsible for moving 0 meters into the warehouse. Fang Pengzi was responsible for negotiating deals with Manager Yang. After the transaction was completed, the paper cart flew up again. Fang Xiaopang was cautious and reinforced. A strong gust of wind was summoned immediately. The paper car instantly accelerated and flew forward. Mr. Fang. Weren't we supposed to go back to Lin Gufeng? This direction is wrong, is it? This seems like the way out of the mountains. It was rare to get out of here. Why are you in such a hurry to go back? I'll take you to a good place, and sneak back some good stuff while you're at it. This paper cart can carry quite a lot of things back. Peace. Let me tell you. This is the famous Le Fang. We're all shaking up. There are simply too many rules. This cannot be done, that can't be done either. But visiting courtesy is different. This is not our Shenwu Sword Sect Hall. It is a trading gathering place for major sects and rogue cultivators. Few rules, and often manage to escape with quite a few treasures. Let's go. Let me show you what you're looking for. Along the sides, various small stalls were set up. The wheat grows in waves and rises one after another. The items at the stall were all over the place, all sorts of strange and bizarre varieties. Damaged magical artifacts, cherish herbal medicine, abandoning the elixir, cultivating the ancient texts of the Shen dynasty, and captured Ling Mo, taming the wolf howl, and all that should be used. Friends, do you want pandao seeds? This is the seed of the peach spirit tree. 2. Applewood is more effective than spiritual rice. Peach seeds. My yard is just right for planting. How can you sell seeds like yours? Go away, don't block the way, get lost. You're clever, kid. This is all one-time transactions. God knows what kind of seed he was holding. You actually believe it, even if it's true. Can you plant it? The cultivation of spiritual plants is extremely demanding. Giving you seeds is useless. The immortal is truly insightful. Learn from me more in the future. Half of this street is full of scammers. Keep your eyes open. The two continued walking forward. Brothers, do you want wood? Here, I absolutely have the best black duck wood. This wood can be used for alchemy. It can also be used to set up formations. Absolutely authentic. This is the real black duck wood. Where did you get that? I'm curious too. After all, black duckwood is produced by black ducklings. The black duckling is a miasmic and fertile land. There's also a terrifying black granny. No one dared to heat it up. Naturally, no one dared to go there to chop wood. As for the root of Rhea, this has to be kept secret. Want some? This black duckwood is not only of good quality, and absolutely cheap. Fang Xiaopang specializes in formations. Upon seeing this special formation material, I was starting to feel a bit struggling. How do you plan to sell it? A black duck tree. All it takes is 5 fresh arms. If you use it to refine pills, extremely fire resistant. Refining dozens of batches of elixirs, absolutely no problem. This world, there are not many people who specialize in practicing the Dharma needle. The middle-aged cultivator still thought Fang Xiaopang intended to use it for alchemy. Fang Xiaopang pretended to look disgusted. This one of yours is even more expensive than the cold candle in the sect. With that money, I could easily buy a cold candle. That's easy to say. If you really want to buy it, I'll give you a discount. There are a total of 24 black duckwood here. If you buy them all, I'll sell you 100 fresh arms. Fang Xiaopang was deeply moved. He was setting up a summoning array, specializes in summoning dark creatures. That's exactly what we need. But he reached out and felt around. His face instantly fell. Peace. I was anxious when I left. Forgot to bring your wallet. I only brought a little change. Can you lend me 20 immortal coins first? Are we close to each other? Come to borrow money from me. Shameless. That might not be quite right. I only have a few immortal coins. What if you forget to return it later? I wouldn't even dare to ask you for it. Ping'an, look, you're just a temporary tribute now, right? There will be another assessment next spring. With me here, you're just stable. Besides, I even plan to help you become a full-fledged laborer. How could this be a sword? It was clearly dangerous. No choice. In the future, I'll still be counting on Fang Xiaopang's support. I took out 20 immortal arms and handed them over. Fang Xiaopang beamed. He patted Zhong Ping'an on the shoulder. Don't worry. From now on, I'll look out for you. Then he turned and handed the money to the vendor. He picked up 24 black duck woods. Pick out your own things. I'll deliver this to the car first. He Luo happily carried off with He Yamu. Just then, Heifang in the stone sea suddenly began to move. The altar is inside the black fragrance itself. Sacrifice begins. This sacrifice requires divine stones to cultivate cultivation manuals. Divine stone technique. I was completely confused. What is this thing? I've never even heard of it. Just as I was troubled, suddenly, he heard the vendor at a stall not far across the street shouting loudly. Some people try their luck. Come to me. There are definitely new, authentic products. My eyes lit up. Go check it out. What if it really happens? The vendor perked up immediately when he saw me. After all, he had been running his stall for a month. Not a single book was sold. Brother, come take a look. These are all real secret manuals. It records ancient divine powers. Do you want to buy one? Go back and train well. I could tell at a glance that the young man was gifted and intelligent. What if you accidentally read any secret manual? In the future, he'll be a big shot. Let me tell you, our family's ancestors, but the Tomb Raiders are incredibly powerful. He was an ancient explorer, collected many secret manuals, guaranteed every book is genuine. Unfortunately, my aptitude is Luton. I really can't learn. That's why it's being put up for sale. It will be a real secret manual. Who would sell the real secret manuals on the street? Brothers, you have to be careful. Don't tear it apart. These secret manuals are very old, not as sturdy. A manual you can browse at will, probably really bad. The secret to feelings is simply impossible to discern. What's the point of that? No, it is incorrect. As long as it's a manual, that's enough. Whether he could see clearly or not, the demon lord didn't seem to care much. I scanned the books on the stall again. In one of the books, I saw a cross. Could this be the Divine Stone Workshop? I opened the inner pages. It was already rotten beyond recognition. By the end, you can only see 7 characters, for words have become completely blurred. Hard to distinguish. Once you read this book clearly, there are very few words you can read. Forget it. Let's leave it at that. Boss, how will you sell this book? Oh dear, you really know your stuff. This manual was unearthed in the tomb of an ancient god. There must be exquisite and extraordinary magical abilities inside. Unfortunately, after all these years, bright pearls gathered in dust. No one recognized it. Like this, take 100 Xianbi. 100 immortal jade. Gun robbery. Brothers, don't go. Can't I give you a discount? How about 20 immortal jade? A piece of immortal jade. Just a single immortal jade. I'm starving. Don't even think about it. Well, give me a Xianbi, immortal jade. Can I have a bowl of hot egg noodles? Half a piece of immortal jade. That's the most. Alright, deal. Although I'm not sure either. Is it a divine stone technique? But it's cheap. Anyway, the plan failed. At most, he'd just get scolded by the Demon King. At that moment, Fang Xiaopang arrived driving a paper cart. I jumped onto the car. Fang Xiaopang drove the paper cart, flying toward Linggu Peak. The sky was already dark. Fang Xiaopang kept the paper cart. It drove up to the entrance of my cave. Peace. There are too many of these black duck trees. I tested using 2 sticks, which is enough. Your cave is huge. I'll leave it here for now. Then I helped Fang Xiaopang. He moved all the black duck wood into the cave. After seeing Fang Xiaopang off, I immediately returned to my room and locked the door tightly. Only then did he proceed with great caution. He took out that book that was about to rot. I'm going. This book really is a divine stone cultivation method. Now he's hit the jackpot. You're a total mess, forget it. How come only 7 words remain? Can you be a bit more perfunctory? Is the Demon Lord truly angry this time? Demon Lord, you can make do with it for now. Wait until next time. I'll get you something nice again. Please bear with it. I couldn't wait to pick up the book. He opened the first page of the table of contents. The Secret of the Divine Stone. At 80, one becomes a king. Artifact Forging, Foundation Establishment, Golden Core, Yuan Ying, Divine Transformation, Refining Void, Great Ascension, Saint Entry. Corresponds to 8 cultivation chapters. The Demon King is too strong. A single book actually covers all aspects of cultivation. Unknowingly, 3 days had passed. I was watching the time of entering the people. Suddenly, urgent knocking came from outside the cave. My heart tightened. Quickly hide all the treasures in Black's side. Only then did he open the locked cave door. A tall, thin Taoist stood at the doorway. His face was full of impatience. Are you Zhongpingen? Why does it take so long to open a door? Sorry, County Chief. He only heard it after falling asleep. HMPH, sleeping in broad daylight. It was clear he was not a hardworking person. You were fired. This is 6 months' salary. Get out of the cave quickly. Where is County Chief Fang Xiaopang? HMPH, you still know Fang Xiaopang. Unfortunately, he can't watch over you anymore. He had just caused big trouble. Now this place is under my control. He. I think you're very incompetent. Hurry up and get lost. That county magistrate. I still have some personal belongings in this hole. Moving out takes some time. Fine. Then I'll give you 1 day. Tomorrow morning. Don't let me see you still in the cave. Did you understand? After the beast priest finished scolding him, turn around, meet him, and fly away. I took half of the place from where I was, utterly confused. What exactly happened? And so, the young master ended up unemployed for no apparent reason. Who should I turn to for justice? It was someone who suddenly appeared before me. Hello, I have a letter for you. I just saw the Taoist priest here, so I didn't dare come over. Take it for yourself. I was surprised by the result and was trustworthy. It turned out to be Fang Xiaopang writing it for him, playing with the child, Ping'an. I use black duckwood to cultivate formations. As a result, a demon was summoned. Even the Song residence was ruined. He also made the mountain a complete mess. He is now under solitary confinement by the Law Enforcement Hall. My position was succeeded by my senior brother Hua Guang. That guy was stubborn and self-willed. And privately be cautious. It definitely won't tolerate you. Don't worry. Wait until I come out of seclusion. Let's discuss it with you in the long run. Just a few days ago, he swore he'd follow his own example, turn around and get into trouble and be locked up. I really have to hand over this old fox. He insisted on studying the Black Immortal technique. Now it's great. Barbecue. I kept looking toward the end of the interest, and a line of advice. Help me secretly get rid of those black duck woods. I suspect there's something wrong with those woods, but don't let anyone else find out, please. Fat damn it, you still owe me 20 immortal coins and haven't paid them back. And you want me to help you with things, Dad? These black duck screens are mine now. Just treat it as interest. Wait until this guy comes out. I will definitely ask him for the powdered gold. Gone. No one will stay here. Go home and cultivate. Back in his room, he began trying to refine his spirit. The first step of spirit refining, 60 sealed off, but when he looked at it, he could not see it. The Ming is called Yi. Strange. No need to look with your eyes, yet he managed to find something called Yi. What kind of logic is this? You can't see anything. The darkness before my eyes, it was a sight seen with the eyes, not looking. It probably means not looking at anything. These few words, could it be that he wants to pull back his focus on what he was watching? I did it all over again, not looking at anything. Gradually, the world disappeared, the darkness disappeared. Suddenly, a panic swept over him, as if he had fallen into an abyss. He felt like a helpless blade of grass, drifting in the raging sea. I suddenly woke up. It instantly understood. This is the training of divine sense. You must control your fears. I closed my eyes and meditated again. Time passed little by little. Suddenly, a ball of white light lit up before his eyes. The suppressed divine sense burst forth. It worked. It worked. Sure enough, I was free from fear. His divine sense grew stronger. I continued to sit cross-legged. He began to ponder the second sentence, but listened but did not hear it. The Ming is called rest. This should be the same principle as turning a blind eye. It was just the light he had just cultivated. This cultivation focuses on sound. I closed my eyes, not listening to the sound. Nor does he listen to the silence. He completely withdrew his listening consciousness back into his divine sense. A moment later, fear strikes again. It's like a bottomless abyss beneath your feet. He was rapidly falling downward. That abyss has no end at all. A suffocating feeling hit him. It almost interrupted my cultivation. I gritted my teeth and refused to give up. No one knew how much time had passed. A loud boom rang out. Another white light flashed before his eyes. He blasted the divine stone away. Got it. Again. The last level. Past this hurdle. You can clear the first level of love God. Boti could not obtain it. The bright moon's majesty. This is the cultivation of touch. Bone-chilling pain. And attacked first. In an instant, it turned into a piercing sensation that stirred the heart. Finally, A numbness spread throughout his body. It disturbed people's minds and unsettled their minds. I gritted my teeth. Hold on tightly. Time passed. Vision. Hearing. Touch gradually fades. Finally, doubt. Rest. Micro. 3 types of perception. They miraculously merged together. Under the perception of divine sense, this world instantly became 10,000 times clearer. I should not look at it, but his advice was not heeded. When it is not accepted, the divine sense would then condense back into one. It can become something strange, omnipotent perception. It turns out, this is divine consciousness. I couldn't wait to sink back into a state of cultivation. The world became incredibly clear once again. I carefully perceived the outside world. Suddenly, a very hidden secret door was discovered in the backyard. How could there be a door? I hurried to the backyard. He walked to a lawn near Shizhangfang. Extend both hands. Spiritual power was released. He pulled hard. I pulled a square lid out of the grass. A deep, descending staircase appeared before his eyes. What is going on? Could it be Lord Qingfeng who dug it up? I followed the corpse down. About a dozen or so photos were taken. A large stone door appeared before his eyes. Above the stone gate was written the 3 words shelter. Indeed, this was written by Lord Qingfeng. But why would Lord Qingfeng build an underground shelter? Resist wind disasters? Not really. Will the true wind disaster only appear 3,000 years from now? I pushed open the heavy stone door. Inside, there was first a large hall. There were also several small stone doors in the hall. My eyes lit up. 3 bedrooms and 1 living room. This really is a great place for cultivation. It was also a good opportunity to hide the secret of his demonic cultivation. I opened the first historical warehouse. Inside were many rice jars, and other miscellaneous items. There was also a very solid stone chamber beside the mouth. It simply couldn't be opened. I don't even know what it's for. In the last stone chamber, there was a stone bed. There are also some simple pieces of furniture. After finding a place to sleep, I continued to begin cultivating the gods. In the blink of an eye, winter has returned. His cultivation of the spirit refining went exceptionally smoothly. He broke through directly to the 4th level, but I can only cultivate up to the 4th level, because of the cultivation level of the refining spirit stage. Unable to break through the chi refining level, it seems he still needs to first raise his realm to the 5th level of chi refining. At the 5th level of chi refining, Da Yao was already at the peak of the chi refining stage. This makes it easier to find a good job. Looks like he wants to break through to trimming the tail. Still, you need to refine and saw the egg. I took a black duckwood from Black's side, just as he was about to chop it into small pieces to use as firewood for alchemy. The sensation at my fingertips made my expression change. No, it is incorrect. This black duck is really problematic. How could I sense the power of the evil divine stone inside? No wonder Fang Xiaopang failed at the formation. It must be because there is an evil divine stone inside. Don't blow up my peel furnace. I will channel the divine thunder energy outside my body. It directly invades the black duck wood. The evil divine stone encountered the energy of divine thunder. It was instantly cleaned out completely. Only then did he cut the wood into small pieces for later use. Next, sort and stack the 5 colored flower petals. But I don't plan to practice pills myself. Instead, I took out the clone technique I used to practice spiritual sense. Summon a demon dragon to assist me in pill refining. Under the control of my divine sense, the demon dragon threw the black duckwood into it with its claws. Then he spat out a burst of flame. Ignite the black duckwood. An hour later, the medicinal fragrance drifts out from the cinnabar furnace. The whole house is filled with the fragrance of cinnabar. Stove open. Spirit. How could the energy be this dense? Far surpassing the high-grade chi gathering pills of Tianbao Pavilion. This doesn't feel right. My trash 5-colored flower doesn't have that much spiritual energy at all. There's no way spiritual energy could appear out of thin air. I seem to have thought of something. He quickly looked toward the Qianquan furnace. The ancient patterns on the furnace wall were twinkling and glowing. The spiritual energy inside the furnace was exceptionally rich. The Demon King is far too authoritative. This Qianquan furnace is truly a treasure. It comes with a built-in alchemy and chi gathering function. It can also greatly enhance the quality of the pills. I'm still worried that chi refining won't be perfected. In the days that followed, I cultivated while refining pills. Me. A long howl, smoothly stepping into the Lianqi Wutsang, love-seeking warehouse. Passing through the secluded mirror, I immediately began trying out the ability of the Mirror of Nether. He concentrated all his divine sense into a single line. He suddenly shot forward. In an instant, his divine sense was 10 miles away. Coincidentally, it happened to be right in the clutches of the demon. His divine sense was like a wild bull. He charged straight into the clutches of the demon. Within that claw, a demon was still struggling. They were preparing to break through the seal and restrictions set by the immortal masters. That monster sensed my divine sense. It sent me a strange signal. That was asking for help from himself. Could it be that he sees me as one of his kind? My heart tightened. He quickly retrieved the divine stone. What a joke. You? Isn't that just causing trouble for yourself? Sigh. He had been in seclusion for too long. It was time to get some fresh air. I slowly walked into the bustling, lively market. Halfway there, I spotted a noodle shop by the street. He then stepped inside. Second, a bowl of noodles please. Before long, a steaming bowl of noodles was served. I started eating heartily, while they were wolfing down their food. Suddenly, he overheard someone nearby discussing the selection of outer sect disciples. It's time again for the outer sect disciple selection. Once every 10 years. You must cherish it. Father, rest assured, I've already been at the 5th level of artifact refining. The registration threshold has been reached. This selection, I will give it my all. Selection of outer disciples. Once every 10 years. Sign up. It's like giving a pillow when you're sleepy.